Hey, this is Dr. Amanda with StraightSmile Solutions, StraightSmileSolutions.com, and today we're going to talk about another one of those retainer subscription programs that are out there. You've probably seen a few of my other videos talking about some of the other ones that are out there. I personally, I just review what I see, so I'm going to kind of tell you high level, both doctor facing and patient facing, the value proposition, real high level, and you can pick the right one for you. And just remember, not all doctors have a retainer club that they're affiliated with, and that's okay. They might have their own in-house kind of retainer club version subscription service. It's a good question to ask. As a matter of fact, I really think that before you start orthodontic treatment, that should be a major question you should ask. I can tell you that is one of the biggest misunderstandings that often happens in an office, one of the biggest reasons for complaints when patients are just assuming that they'll get retainers at the end of orthodontic treatment, be it braces, be it Invisalign, be it phase one, and they either upsell or they don't get it, or it costs additional, or they don't get the type that they wanted. It is a really big misunderstanding. So I really hope that every doctor that listens to this who's offering orthodontic services really understands the value of retention and understands how important retention is. And if this is a comprehensive or phase two case, that means if this is your final set of braces or aligners, you need to have retainers for life. That's a brand, sorry. But you need to plan on a retention plan for life. That means it's not a 2-month, 3-month thing. It is a lifetime commitment to retention. And often one retainer doesn't last a lifetime. And it really depends on what type of retainer that you get. And a lot of times patients are like, oh, I wanted a bonded retainer. But there's a lot of downsides to a bonded retainer. And please do watch my other videos on fixed, permanent, or bonded retainer. I'm not saying that you shouldn't get one. I'm just saying that you should understand the negatives to it, and you should definitely talk to your doctor about whether that's a good option for you. And I can tell you all kinds of terrible stories about the downsides of bonded retainers, both as a doctor and as a patient, as a parent. So anyways, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about today Retainer Club, which is a type of retainer subscription program. First, I'm going to talk real high level. So if you're a prospective patient, you can kind of disregard this part. I'm going to kind of talk the first minute or two to the doctors who are listening to this video to talk about the value proposition for your practice. And again, it's not actually about making money. It's about saving you time, and making your patients happier, which actually does inadvertently make you money because your patients are happier. And if your patients are happier, they're going to leave you better reviews and send more people. And it takes up a little less chair time. So that's the value right there. Are you going to become billionaires off this program? No. The goal is to free up your chair time and to make your patients happy. And that's the whole goal of this, of almost outsourcing this component of your practice to Retainer Club. You will join as an affiliate member, the Retainer Club, as an affiliate doctor. With that, you will pay a small fee. I don't know if it's annual or one time. You'll need to ask the CEOs. I'm not with this company. I just had a couple great conversations, and I'm just kind of digesting and relaying what I understood. So you'll want to ask them. So if something's not right in this, I apologize. But I think there's a small fee to join. I consider it very small once I heard what it was. And it can vary depending on the size of your office and maybe who you're affiliated with. But it's pretty negligible, I think. I don't think you'll have a problem paying that fee. And I believe you might get a small percentage of the memberships from your patients. But for the most part, it's about freeing up your chair time. I mean, I can't tell you how many times you just have like kind of useless retainer appointments. Like they're useful because you want to make sure your patients are wearing them, but they take up a lot of time. You spend more time chit-chatting, and patients actually kind of hate them because they're like, why am I coming in for this? And you do know that if you're doing Essex retainers or clear kind retainers, they are going to need to switch them out and get fresh ones. They're not going to last that long. They might last a couple months. They might last 6 months. They might last a year. But you need to be, the best way to ensure your straight teeth for life is to be switching them out on a regular basis. And that actual frequency is going to vary from patient to patient. There's a lot of variables that goes into it, of course. Could be if you're a grinder, a clencher, a bruxer, how rough you are taking them out, your musculature force, the acidity of your saliva, if you're eating or drinking with them. Some people just easily misplace them. So it's better to just be getting fresh ones, maybe every 3, 6, 9, 12 months, and getting a new one put in. And patients love that. Now, of course, I personally am still a fan of Holly retainers, although they don't really control vertical, and there's a few things they don't do very well at. But for the most part, I still like them. But anyways, but most patients don't like them. So I think if patients really want clear retainers, they really should join a membership program in order to have the clear retainers. That's kind of where I am right now with that, because unless you have your own in-house, you're just going to forget about them. It's so easy to forget about these patients, really, a couple months, couple years later. So anyways, why not outsource it? And then patients they'll get billed an annual fee for either one set, 2 sets, or 3 sets of retainers every year. The retainers just come on a regular frequency. They're still your patient. They're still reminded. You can brand it. You can do all kind of cool stuff in the boxes, so they still know that you're your patient, and they are notified that if there's any type of shifting, they should still come back to you. So that's pretty much how it works from a doctor's perspective, right? You get a little bit percentage, and you pay an annual fee. They do expect you to have about, I think they said 20 patients per month. So it's really meant, right now they're only partnering with orthodontic practices, not with general dentist practices, because you guys don't have the volume in order to sustain to be part of their affiliates. And you're also on their website. So that is very cool. And now let's go ahead and transition over into the patient perspective. So doctors, we talked about your part, you can leave. Patients, let's talk about your part. So I think you get the idea. If you heard the first part, you need to be changing your clear retainers on a regular frequency. The actual frequency might vary depending on who you are. Your doctor may not be able to predict the frequency. There's a lot of variables that go into it. So it's better to be getting a fresh pair every certain frequency. Throw away the old pair, get a new pair. And if you lose them, you can even go online, and your image is your final STL is a digital image that's stored in the cloud. So it's almost like an insurance policy. And I can't tell you how many patients, it's possibly hundreds, if not thousands, that I've worked with that have run over, the dogs ate them. There's an entire book. You could probably find it on Amazon. I don't know if they still print it, but I had it at one point in my office, where all the crazy stories that orthodontists submit about things that have happened to retainers and how they got lost. And some of these are just hilarious. From garbage disposal, dishwasher ran over, microwaved it, of course, got lost in baggage on an airplane, regular stuff. Like, of course, dog is really common. Dog, cat, bird, lots of animals sat on it, but there's even more bizarre stories than that. That happens to retainers. And it's an incredible source of stress, not only, and I can tell you, college, oh my goodness, they disappear like crazy in college. So I think this is the best gift to give a college student or a young adult, because as they go off on their own and they no longer have access to their orthodontist that they treated them, if you try to go to a different orthodontist, they're going to have to take a scan, then they're going to have to make it, they're going to have to deliver it. They will charge you at least $800 to $1,000 for a set of upper and lower, which is basically like 5 years worth of retainers through this club. It's gonna happen at some point. They're gonna get lost or broken, and oh my goodness, I have so many friends in junior high that had to dig to the dumpster. I can't tell you how many people. If anyone works in a cafeteria at a school, or teachers, there's so many digging through dumping, and it's just the amount of stress from families, because $800 to $1,000 is a lot of money. I know my own personal story. I think I had at least 2 siblings, if not 3, that had to fly home from college in order to get new retainers, because it was cheaper for them to fly home to go see their old orthodontist than go to a new one. And, back then there was no like storing your image in the cloud and being able to mail it or anything like that. Like, you actually had to come in and take an impression. So, this is just a great way just to peace of mind is basically what it is from a parent or patient perspective. Personally, I love the idea of doctors bundling this and maybe giving the subscription initially for a year, and just having that being part of the whole, process, and then maybe they can continue to extend it on their own, get the silver subscription, and they can continue it or whatever. But it's all kind of cool things. You could gift this, but anyways, you get the idea. So I really like this company. I like this club. I like the owners. I've met the CEOs. Legit, I know a lot of the doctors that are on there their membership. They're really, really, really good orthodontists. I think they kind of pick who they want to partner with, so not everyone can get picked. So, and they have possibly some territories, so there's not always like 20 doctors in one area. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So you get the idea. So I think there's definitely a great value proposition, both doctor facing and patient facing. And it's a great idea, great concept. So, anyways, I just wanted to share that. And if you have any questions, we only work with doctors. So if you're a patient and you have questions, I highly recommend you join our Facebook group. You can message me on this video and I will send you the link if you want to. If you're a doctor, feel free to reach out to us at StraightSmileSolutions.com. All right, thanks so much.